What I have found over that course of time is, for the most part, nobody gives a crap. My first thought about the situation is that I was just going to stop. I was just going to quit. And I am at the point where I don't want to talk about that on the internet anymore. I just don't. And a lot of it at this point is just about surviving and about figuring out what my next move is, what my husband and I's next move is, how we deal with the situations we're presented with because of the insanity of living in America. Hello, and welcome one and all to the Brick City Brown Chick YouTube show. I am your host, the aforementioned Chick. For those who ask, Brick City is Newark, New Jersey, my beloved hometown, where I was born and raised. And the brown chick, well, hopefully that part is obvious. On this show, we talk everything. We talk politics, we talk race, we talk music, which is my personal favorite, fashion, trends, whatever is on my mind that particular week, that is what we'll be talking about. So whether you found this page on recommendation, or if you're an OG and you've been here for a while, I welcome one and all to my world, the world of the Brick City Brown Chick. Hey everyone. Welcome back to the Brick City Brown Chick show. And today I'm going to do something a little different. Today I'm going to be talking about my channel and some changes that will be coming down the pike as we rapidly head toward the new year. I have been doing this podcast for more than a year and a half now. And while I love it and I have a good time doing it, what I have found over that course of time is, for the most part, nobody gives a crap. In the last, I'd say 3 or 4 months, and that's great. Shout out. I appreciate all of you. But this is a lot of work and a lot of time and a lot of energy for minimal results. My first thought about the situation is that I was just going to stop. I was just going to quit, do a sign-off message, be done with it. But that didn't sit right in my spirit, I'll say. I just felt like that was a cop-out, and that was not respectful of the listeners I do have. So what I have decided to do is, instead of uploading twice a week, I will be moving to a once-a-week posture. And I'm going to be going back to what this channel was originally about, which is life lessons, things that I've learned over the course of my life, things that are interesting to me, things I want to talk about. I moved into politics and current events because that's really what people want to see and to watch. But to be perfectly honest about it, that has not been good for my mental health. I have talked a lot about this president and this country and just the hateful, nasty, awful results of the last election and what it has led to. And I am at the point where I don't want to talk about that on the internet anymore. I just don't. Props to the YouTubers and the TikTokers and the creative folks who talk about this stuff every day, 6-7 days a week. They're the people keeping us informed and keeping us on top of what's really going on behind the scenes. And I have absolute respect for them. I cannot do that anymore. It is so aggravating and so frustrating. And what I keep saying to myself is, it is hard enough living through this madness. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I just don't. So I will be returning to my previous format. I've got a lot of great ideas about things I'm going to talk about, a lot of music things that I've always wanted to talk about. And so you will notice that this podcast is going to shift. I really hope that you will stay with it and that you'll be able to give your feedback and your comments, and you'll be able to look at this space as somewhere you can escape from the insanity and the reality of what has become everyday life. I am in my mid-50s. I am a working person. I am married. Most people know that. I do not have children. I am childless by choice. That's a thing too. But there's a whole lot going on in my life, and a lot of it at this point is just about surviving and about figuring out what my next move is, what my husband and I's next move is, how we deal with the situations we're presented with because of the insanity of living in America. And I've really got to put my time and my focus into that. And the only way I'm going to be able to do that is to really take a step back from the political and the current events and leave that to other creators and really focus on the things that I enjoy and that bring me joy talking about. So understand, I am not going away. I am just moving away from the topical and the crazy. There are people who do that much better than I do, and there are tons of other things to talk about that are interesting and thought-provoking and are just more enjoyable. I want to have more enjoyable content at this point. And so that is where the Brick City Brown Chick Show, that's the direction we're moving. If you have any questions about this, feel free to put them in the comments, in the chat. I'll explain this as best I can. But yeah, that's the direction we're going. I want to thank everybody for joining me this week. If you are not subscribed to this podcast, there ought to be a sub button underneath me here that will encourage you to sign up. I hope you'll spread the word to your friends, especially as I start to move into other topics and things that people might find interesting. We're going to do a little longer format videos like we used to do. Hopefully not like 45, 50 minutes. I did several of those. I've learned that's probably a little long for people. But they're going to be a little longer and a little more involved and about things that I find interesting to talk about. So thank you everybody for joining me and sticking with me as I move into this new phase of my show. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Take care.